Do you see these clean Apple style designs? Others talk about making them as if they're trying to uncover Coca-Cola's secret formula or hire a Hollywood VFX team, but that's not the case at all. In less than 40 minutes, we're going to learn step by step how to make this exact video together. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel because we're going to have lots of awesome tutorials every week. We start our work by creating a composition in Adobe After Effects. We set the width to 1080, the height to 1920, and the frame rate to 60 because we want to achieve that smooth Apple style look. We also set the duration to 10 seconds and click OK. Here I'm using a script which I'll place for you in the assets section. This script is very easy to install and we use it to add bounce effects. Be sure to install this. If you'd like, there are other versions available as well and you can install those versions too. Okay, I'm importing my asset into After Effects. After importing my asset, its color is black, and this, I need to change its color. So I'll apply the fill effect to change its color to white. After changing the color to my liking, I'll make it a bit smaller. Then right-click on the layer and select the pre-compose option. Here, I am going to name it Apple. Make sure to select the Move All Attributes option, and then finally enter into this new composition to continue. After entering this composition, I need to separate the leaf part from the apple part. So I grab the pen tool and start the process of masking the object like this. Now with the mask I've made, I still need to have the lower part of the apple as well. So first I select this specific layer, and then from the top edit menu, I can simply click duplicate, or if I prefer, I can use the handy shortcut by pressing Ctrl+D on the keyboard. Here, whatever key I press, it will show up for you. Alright, I select this layer. I'm pressing it on the keyboard and inverting it. This part down here is the bottom of the apple and this is the top of the apple. So I bring the bottom part of the apple down and the top part of the apple is here. I'm selecting the top part of the apple and I need to place the anchor point here. You can either select the anchor point from this section or you can press the Y key. I select both layers, press P on the keyboard, set a keyframe for their position and then move to frame C. Here I add another pair of keyframes, go back and move these down so that it moves out of the frame. I have selected both of these two, and to apply a bit of a bounce effect to them, I navigate over to the Excite menu and click on Elastic. Let's preview the animation one time. It has this bounce effect. Now if we want to animate the leaf as well, we move this forward a bit and play it again. It looks like this. One more time. Now, if we want to add more animation to the leaf, we can press R for rotation and set a keyframe. I press U to bring up this rotation here and rotate it a bit. Again, I select these and click on Elastic. Let's play it once. You can see this state right now. You can bring this closer. Like this. Now we've created an interesting logo animation. I go back into the composition section and write my text. I write what is no. What separately is no separately. I center it using a line and move it here a bit. Now, right here in this section, all I really need to do is simply make a duplicate copy of this specific layer. Carefully bring it down to the bottom. And then I can go ahead and write out my second piece of text, which will say Yaznam. Now, to have these on the same line, we reduce the size so that both of them fit on one line. We can also use the 8th line and draw 2 lines here. And now, let's resize these. Perfect. Now I duplicate this bottom layer. I select both of these layers and parent them to the upper layer. After I've parented them, I Luma key this bottom layer. The upper layer, its visibility. It's turned off, I'll turn it on. I go to the top layer and set its color to black. I keep that in mind. Now, if I select these two and press P on the keyboard, we see it like this. I can do the same thing. For the top layer as well, I can turn the eye on. I duplicate it, select both of them, set the lower layer to track matte, and after setting it to track matte, I set the lower layer to Luma and the top layer's color to black. I keep that in mind like this. Now all I need to do is select these. Press P on the keyboard, and at the moment this comes here. I've placed these here, so I go back and bring these again. Down. We select them. When you play it once, it appears like this. Now, to make it more interesting, I change their keyframes. I right-click, and I click on Easy Ease. I go into the graph editor section and adjust the graph here. On this side, I set it to 75, and on this side to 25. Let me play it once. Alright, that turned out great. Now I'll move these two a bit forward and play it again. Alright, now all I need to do is select these two and create a null object. I'll parent these two to the upper null object and the two below to another null object that's below. I'll bring this one over here. And I'll parent these two to this null object as well. I press P on the keyboard for the null object. I set a keyframe here and another one here like this. Now it changes their position. I move this one up a bit so it goes off the screen. I do the same thing for this null object. I'm finishing up. I click and remove these from the screen as well. Now I select this and this, right click and choose Easy Ease. Then I'll change their values, setting this side to 75 and this side to 25. Now the numbers don't have to be exactly precise. I'll play it once. Like this. Now to keep more of the text on the screen, we can move these forward. Let's play it once. Like this. As these two are moving up, right here we set a keyframe for. We add the Apple layer. I press P on the keyboard to add a keyframe, and here we completely remove the Apple logo, and then I set the exact same keyframes for another Apple logo. The value from this side is 25. Now it doesn't have to be exactly 25. If it's at 24, that's fine. On this side, set it to 75. I'll play it once. Let's do it one more time. The exact moment that it is going down is precisely when the new Apple iPhone device should come into the frame. Now I'll import my asset. Okay, I'll move this down a bit. I'll slightly reduce the size of this element so it fits right here. I definitely want myself to be in the center of the image horizontally. And now, since the iPhone 18 hasn't come out yet, and we more or less know its color is purple, we're going to set its color here. Now I select this layer and apply the tritone effect. I apply it to this layer. I set its midtone color to... I set this code. It turned out like this. Now I'm going to create two copies of this exactly same layer and then position one of them right over here. And the other one here, more or less. These two layers. I select the layer and remove the tritone effect from it. Now all we need to do is select these two, move them down to the lower layer, bring them a bit lower, and swap their positions with other colors of the iPhone. I select this, hold down Alt, drag it here, and release. I select this one, I select that one, then I hold down Alt and release. It has changed like this. Now we go back, come right here on this keyframe, select all three of them, press P on the keyboard, and bring them here. Now we move these completely out of the frame. I select them, right click and apply Easy Ease. I am going to carefully adjust their graph from this specific side until it reaches the value of 75. But then looking at it from this other side, I don't change their graph and I hold down Alt and Control and click once. Now I select all of these and click on Elastic. I'll play it once. Like this. Now I bring this layer and this layer forward so they are not simultaneous. You can do it exactly like this. Alright, that is very good. Now right here, I'll go ahead and import the asset for the specific word Pro. I come here, adjust the overall size to be much smaller, carefully reposition it further down the screen, and proceed to create 3 identical copies of them. One right here. I am going to create an additional duplicate copy, and then carefully move its corresponding mask all the way over to this side. I make another copy and bring this one's mask over here as well. Now we've separated the letters P, R, and O from each other. I select these 3. I press P on the keyboard to set their position, add a keyframe, and go back. Here as well, I set a keyframe and come over here. I move these up, and up to this point I trim them. I shorten them. I bring them a bit closer together. I select all of them and apply the elastic effect. Let's play it once. Well, it's really slow. Like this. Now I'll start arranging these into their proper sequence so that they become like this. I can bring these even closer together. That's perfect. Now I'll place these stars here and draw a shape layer here because I want them to be visible only within this area. I'll draw it here. I select these stars and mask them to this layer so they won't go above it. This way, as those go out, these can come in. We can move it a bit forward so that once these have completely left, those can enter. Just like this. Now the same effect that I applied to this layer. Regarding the iPhone, I can apply the same technique to these 3 as well. I'll copy my drives and apply them to these 3. A simple Ctrl plus C and Ctrl plus V will do it like this. Now all I need to do here is type the word iPhone as well. I'll change its color to white. I will fix the spelling mistakes and put the corrected version right here. You can also adjust it to be quite a bit smaller. I'll put it here. Now I have a preset for animating text because we can't animate text with elastic motion tools. I wrote a preset, and I'll give you that preset. I go to the animation section and click on Apply Animation. First, we go ahead and select the Apple Cardinal Bounce file and click Open. You will notice that this has now been placed directly onto the first layer of our project. I am going to bring this over here to the right, play it through once to see how it looks, and then move it back just a little bit. This allows us to properly adjust its timing within the scene. Set it up with these. Now, if you feel like the bounce value is too high, you can reduce its position value from this section. Now I'll set it to 40 and play it once. It actually appears exactly like this. In this specific section right here, where we have this particular bounce effect applied, we really need to come in and make some necessary manual adjustments to it. Now at this point, I am going to select these 3 individual layers, press the Ctrl and D keys on my keyboard to duplicate them, then move the playhead forward just a little bit, about this much should do, and then press Ctrl and D once again to have the software trim these layers down for me automatically. cut it, split it, so that it splits these layers for me. Now here, I'm going to change the color of this top layer. The color of this top layer should turn white and swap places with this iPhone. So I'll take this white iPhone from here and place it here. Now that I've placed it here, I'll turn off tritone. I'll change the color of this iPhone, which is now white again. I'll swap it with this orange iPhone and apply the tritone effect to it. I'll copy this effect from here and apply it to this one, then turn it on. We also need to consider if we should change the color of this specific element, or perhaps it can just stay the exact same color as before. Here, if we do it like this, then we create this particular shape, and then when it finally comes over to here, I'll go ahead and change it once again. This becomes this iPhone. Now, if I turn off the tritone effect again, this is the brand new iPhone that we have here. I'll set this specific one to the white color, and this time around, I'll change the other device as well. And I'll apply the tritone effect to it and turn it on. It turns out like this. Interestingly enough, now we can perform the exact same actions in Pro mode just as easily as well. I'll go to exactly these seconds. I split it. Here, I split it as well. This one. First, I'm going to select the star icon and then change its fill color to a shade of light gray. Now we come here and change this color again to this color. Let's play it once. If you feel that the overall timing and synchronization could be improved a little bit, you can manually adjust these settings from right here. You can select each of these items one by one to make your adjustments. Move them slightly forward and carefully select each of them one by one. Carefully fold it and then just shift it backwards a little bit. If I go ahead and play it back for you once again, it looks exactly like this. Now right here in this specific spot, we also want to make sure to have a nice light effect glowing right behind these elements. What do? I take a shape layer, draw it, and apply the fastbox blur effect to it. After applying it, I increase its value like this. Now I reposition this element underneath all of the existing iPhone layers, and then we will proceed to cut this in the same manner as we did before. I make a cut here and another cut here. In the first step, I set the color of this shape to the color of the iPhone. Just a little bit over, perhaps. Great. Now its color is still white here, and here as well, it takes the color of this iPhone. I'll make it a bit lighter so it can be seen. Alright, now at this stage, I'm just going to parent this lower layer to the iPhone layer so it moves along with the iPhone. Now here it's visible at first. I can come and trim this up to here so that until the iPhone comes in, this won't be visible either, and it will appear like this. That is actually very good indeed. Now if you feel these are too faint, you can duplicate them to make their color a bit brighter, or even duplicate them twice. Double click on it, make it a bit brighter, like this. Well, since it currently looks quite unappealing and messy, I will also adjust the specific opacity levels for them, so that these parts consequently become significantly brighter. Just like this, moving away from that harsh appearance. Okay, for these layers, one of them is extra, so I'll delete one because it was getting too bright. Alright, that's perfect. Now, for the next step in our process, I'm going to create a new solid layer and then I will set its fill color to a shade that is almost pure white. Choosing this color code is a really good choice. Let me confirm it. I'm going to select all these layers and bring them over. Under the iPhone layers, I'll bring them about here. I'll put them here because I want to. For the move I'm about to make, it's necessary for these to be underneath. Now, when I turn this on and bring it here, it was applied to all the layers. You can't see the back, but the iPhones are visible. Now I'm going to select this. I'm going to draw a mask right over the top of it like this. I'll increase its size and press F on the keyboard to increase the feather on the mask edges. Look, this is what I mean. Right now the edges are sharp. When I increase the feather, it looks like this. All right, I'll move this completely out, outside the frame. I want to set a position keyframe for it, so I move it completely out. When this part is done here, around here it needs to come in, so I set a keyframe and bring it in like this. I select these, set them to easy ease, and then set the graph to 75-25. Now here, the iPhones also need to move out of the frame. So I select these 3 iPhones along with these 3 and with these 2 layers as well. I press P on the keyboard. I set a keyframe for their position, and then here I move them completely out of the frame. I scrub through. These ones, they shouldn't have been selected. And it was completely removed from the queue. Now, looking over here at this section too, I'm going to need to select all of these keyframes, then set them to easy ease, and carefully adjust their influence graph to 75% and 25% outward. I'll also change their order. First that one, then this one, and then this one. Just like this. Now, let's go ahead and carefully play it through one more time for you to listen to it. Okay, something happened here. I moved these forward and they got messed up. I'll fix them like this. Play it one more time. And I can bring these closer. Because in this style, it's really important that we never stop. There should always be a sense of movement and something happening, because if we pause even for a moment, it can ruin the work. It's better if we always do our work in the moment and never have any pauses. I bring this path and sync it like this. Like this. Very good. Now, at this exact point in time when this element is coming right here, we really need to make our next move. I'm going to go ahead and import 3 more specific assets into my After Effects project folder. I will bring these 3 additional files in here right now. I'm going to make it quite a bit bigger now, and then I'll carefully move it over to the new position. 26, 27, 28. Okay, I'll go ahead and select all of these items. Carefully bring them over to this spot. And just like this, now I'll gradually move them up to the top. Then I go ahead and select the Easy Ease option. I'll change its graph. like this. Okay, I'm going to select these last three individual items here, and then I will go ahead and click on the elastic option. Now, let me play it back for you once so we can all hear how it sounds. Perfect. Now I'll arrange these again in a stepped manner. I can also bring this value closer. Like this. Honestly, now it's absolutely fantastic. Here, while it's still bouncing, I'll set keyframes for these three again. Change, I move forward about 20 frames. I'm going to bring this one over here, and I will also bring these other two along as well. Then, I'll place it exactly right behind this one here. Now that I've placed it behind here, I continue right here. I cut these, hold Alt, and set the bracket to paste. If the value of the face is low, they get very close to each other. Alright then, we decided to cut down on these specific items. Right at this very moment, come just a little bit closer. Now what I do is select this and put it inside a composition. Is that okay? We also enter another composition together. What I'm going to do now is draw a new precise rectangle layer, perfectly aligned directly over this shape. Now, from the rectangle section, I increase the rectangle path's roundness until it looks exactly like my shape. I put this underneath it. I want it to be exactly completely like that one. I set this to 466 exactly. Alright, now I increase its roundness again. It has to be exactly like itself. Now I parent this layer to that layer, and I set this layer as the track matte for the other one. I enable the visibility of this layer, change the color setting to a pure white, and carefully observe the exact moment when this object moves over to the left. You see, I'm adding a keyframe. At this moment, as this moves to the left, it needs to perform its morph. I open it up, click on size, remove this link, and then decrease it here like this. I increase its value from this side, more or less. I also incorporate an additional keyframe for its overall corner roundness to ensure that the final result looks exactly like this. Now I select these, click on elastic right here as it's moving in this direction, and then I set an opacity for it, making its opacity 0. I also select this one and apply the fill effect to it. After you finish applying the fill effect, at first the color is completely white, and then right here it gradually changes from that white to an almost solid black. I'll play it right here once. Like this. That sounds good. Now, in this part, this needs to be placed exactly in the center. Here. I'll go back to the main layer again. I still feel like it's not exactly centered. All right. I can significantly increase the playback speed a bit by manually bringing all of the individual keyframes much closer together. And I can also increase the speed a bit more by bringing those keyframes even closer together to shorten the timing. Like this. Now I'll get into it. I need to come in and take care of several different things right here that I have to handle. First, I write some text. We really need to expand this and make it significantly bigger than it currently is. And here we write the text. First, I am going to select the round rectangle tool, and then I will carefully pick the ellipse 2 tool and proceed to draw a circular shape on the canvas. Next, I adjust its stroke weight to exactly 1 point and completely turn off its fill color. I'll adjust the color of this object to green, and then I'm creating a duplicate version of this. Finally, I'm carefully scaling down its overall size. First, I'll turn off its outer stroke, and then I will set its fill color to green. I make another copy of this layer. I increase its stroke. I make its size smaller. And then I apply the method and set its value to 0. I set a keyframe 10 frames ahead. I set its value to 25. And I manually insert a new keyframe for this one, moving forward all the way to this point, and then I give this specific element one full rotation. That's exactly why I select this. Easy ease, I just do it. Now that this one is done like this, we animate the rest as well. I select all of them. I increase their opacity together, and here I also raise the opacity. Like this. For the animation, I'll use the same preset that I made for Apple. I'm going to select these two items, come over here, first this large text layer, and then we'll run the search. Their values are too high, I'll set them to 20 for both of them. Now let's go back to the main comp. There is actually a bit of a slight delay here, so now all you need to do is bring these items over and sync them up from right here. And this amount that's supposed to go into the cycle as well. I come over to this side. Let me play the first part. In this section, when these are gathered, we have a layer called map. I import the map. I make it bigger. I bring it down and place it under these layers. I set its opacity to 0. And at the moment when this is transforming, I increase its opacity. Now, if I add a bounce to it here, it will look really good. In one frame, this value became, for example, 150. We selected elastic. To make it significantly smoother, I can go ahead and manually set the decay value to 30. Now right here, I'm going to press S, P, and T to bring up the scale, position, and transparency properties, and then I will set keyframes for all three of these attributes. After that, I'm going to move forward about 10 frames, bring the object down on the canvas, scale it down to be smaller, and then lower the opacity a bit. Now I move these a little further forward. Here I pretty much trim them so they're no longer there. Let me play it once. Well, it is moving a little bit too slowly. So I'm going to increase the speed now. Okay then. All right, let's go ahead and play it through just one time. Perfect. Now I'm going to draw an elongated ellipse right here over the circle, setting it to 0. I'll make this part black, make a copy of it, consider the lower layer brighter, and enlarge it. After enlarging it, I open the content section, open the ellipse, right-click and select Convert to Bezier Path. I open its path, pick up the pen tool here and add 2 points, one here and one here, and now I drag this down from the middle. I've dragged this down, and now I select the same layer, exactly this one, and I draw another layer here. I'm going to import my custom personal iPhone emoji right into the application. I place it here. I can select these three together and turn them into a composition and set the marker location. All right, for the next step, I'm going to go ahead and set the anchor point right at this specific spot. I'll trim this layer exactly up to this point as well. I'll carefully move this over here. So this one will shift downwards. I press S and move it a bit further to this side. Zero, I'll also set the R rotation. And I'll place it right here exactly like this. At this point, the only thing that I really need to do is carefully attach the elastic band to the material. And then it is going to function exactly like this. If you see that it's a bit too big, you can make it smaller right here, like this. One more time. Now you can zoom in a bit more here as well. Let this be a bit more zoomed in. I'll play it one more time. Let it be like this. Now, in order to bring this entire project to a professional and polished conclusion, we can go ahead and create a new adjustment layer at the top of our stack, apply the Fastbox blur effect directly to it, and then, in any specific areas where it might be necessary, carefully add a subtle blur to significantly improve the overall visual quality and smoothness of the final render. I come here and set a keyframe. Here, I set the value to 5, and 2 frames ahead, I set the value to 0. I play it once. If you think it's too much, I'll reduce them. I'll copy it and apply it here again. A little less. I'll play it once from the beginning, and the work is completely done. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because we're going to have a cool tutorial every week.